Let's talk about it. Federal grants are ending, and it's all over the news that almost 3.2 million kids will be without care. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Nakia, a childcare tax strategist and one of the founders of Childcare Tax Pros. I'm also a childcare owner myself. I've been working with the childcare industry for over 15 years. So I will look at this from both a childcare owner's view and a financial aspect side. What I'm going to talk about is my personal thoughts and advice on what childcare owners can do in this situation we are all dealing with. It's not meant for everyone, okay? Since I know many do not think this will phase them. So let's dive in. So right now, there are two sides. You may be on one side that you've been depending on these grants because this is how you are staying afloat. Or you might just have opened a childcare within the last 3 years and normalized grants within your daycare. And then there is the other side where it is flourishing. You don't rely on any grants, and you don't think this can impact you in any way. Well, personally, I believe it can have an impact on both sides, but obviously one more than the other. So let's dig in. Let me give you a little history of these grants. The American Rescue Plan Act came into existence as a response to the challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic. It was signed into law by President Joe Biden on March 11, 2021. The primary goal was to provide comprehensive relief to individuals, families, and businesses and sectors affected by the pandemic, recognizing the critical role of childcare in supporting working families. So this act aimed to prevent the closure of childcare facilities by providing financial assistance directly to early education programs. So why is it ending? So the provision of the ARPA, including those supporting childcare, was designed to provide immediate relief during the phase of that pandemic. The legislations included specific timelines for the implementation, and many of the relief programs, including those for childcare, had expiration dates. And the funding was intended to offer temporary support during the crisis with the expectation that the situation would improve over time, which for many, unfortunately, it did not. The federal grant ends today, September 30th, but some states are putting things in place to avoid all the shutdowns of potential daycare closures. They predict that if nothing is done to help the daycares that relied on these funds within 4 to 6 months, you will see 3.2 million children without childcare and hundreds of daycares will close. Now let's talk about how this might affect those depending on these funds. It will not only affect the business owner, but the children, parents, and community as a whole. Daycares may face financial strains due to the sudden absence of grant funding, affecting their ability to cover operational costs such as the rent, utilities, and staff salaries. As we all know, that's one of our biggest expenses. They might need to make one of the toughest decisions, leading to potential layoffs or wage cut for staff members, impacting the financial stability. Without the necessary funds, daycares may need to scale back their educational program, impacting the quality of service provided to children. And then is the worst of all, the risk of shutdown. Daycares heavily dependent on grants may face the risk of closures, disrupting service for children, leaving family in need of alternative childcare options. If daycares close or reduce their capacity, families in the community may struggle to find available and affordable childcare service, affecting parents' ability to work. Children may experience disruptions in their early education, potentially leading to setbacks in their development, milestones, and readiness for school. An overall bomb. Now let's take a look at how this might affect daycares that are more stable and do not rely on grants. there's a high chance this might impact us as a whole. The increased demand not only affects childcare centers, but also strains on local resources such as traffic, parking, and overall community infrastructure. Listen, the quality of daycare. When the parents are already accustomed to a certain level of service, they may perceive a decline in the quality of childcare service due to the sudden strain on the system, the staff, how everyone's working, how there's so many people coming in, coming out. Families may reduce their spending, affecting local businesses and the overall economic activity in the community. So let's say you're not worried about anything at all. Regardless, a decline in demand for childcare service could influence families' decisions to move into the area, potentially impacting property values and the local real estate market. So let's talk about recommendations and strategies for a daycare that wants to win this battle, because you can keep your door open, but there are going to be a few things you should implement and do now before the time comes. So I'm going to share a few tips. Number one, start deep diving into your books now. If your grants was part of your net profit, remove them from your calculations. You have to become clear of where you actually stand. This is the only way you can see how your numbers are really doing. Number two, start looking through everything and see where you can cut costs at. For example, subscriptions, high credit card interest, renegotiate your contracts. It's time to deep dive into those as well. One thing I really would not suggest, and some people may disagree, but do not lower your staff's wages. You need them. And what I highly suggest that would be the easiest way to increase your profit is to raise tuition. Anywhere from 3 to 10%. I know most are scared of parents dropping out, but the statistics are about 1 to 2% will drop out. If you're doing an exceptional job at your daycare, parents like your facility and are not complaining, many will not leave for a 5% increase. Get a waiting list going so you can continue to increase your revenue yearly and stay up with inflation. And if there is a parent that chooses to leave because of rate increase, it will not affect you because the next child is waiting for that spot already. Another tip that I suggest is partnering with another childcare around your community. You'd rather have a partnership and continue growing than closing your doors and not only lose your business, but now fail the baby's parents and staff because you was too prideful to collab. We are stronger as a unit. Wait, if you are this far in the video, stop and give this page a like and subscribe. It will help my new channel tremendously. Thank you in advance. Okay, back to stronger as a unit. A well-known company that benefited significantly from the collaboration is IBM. In the early 1980s, IBM faced stiff competition from emerging personal computer manufacturers. Instead of trying to go alone, IBM made a strategic decision to collaborate with other companies. For example, IBM collaborated with Intel for Microsoft processors and Microsoft for the operating system, leading to the creation of the IBM PC. By allowing the use of the Intel processor and Microsoft, IBM not only accelerated the development of its PC, but also set an industry standards. So how can we collaborate? Let's speak about how collaboration can be the ideal to both sides of the childcare community, where those facing challenges receive support and those in a more stable position actively contribute to the well-being of the industry as a whole. So some tips and suggestions that I recommend. How we can collaborate. Cross promotions and enrollment assistance. Childcare centers with its stable footing can assist those childcare centers in promoting the service to the community. Cross-promotional efforts and positive testimonials can maintain or even increase enrollment at the other daycares, mitigating the impact of potential closures. Another way you can collab is by having events, fundraisers to raise awareness about the importance of early childhood education. These events not only benefit the programs directly, but also contribute to building a sense of community support for the child care services. So, final words for those with the unsettling possibilities of closure. We want you to know that you are not alone in facing these profound challenges. The impact extends beyond just one entity. It has far reaching consequences touching various aspects of the community, from economic factors to educational opportunities and the overall community well being. Here at Childcare Tax Pros, we stand ready to assist you with a deep dive into your financials and ensure your books are in order if needed. Our commitment to the childcare community is evident, and we are here to support you in any way we can. See you on the next one.